Winston Churchill was born on November 30th, 1874, in Blenheim Palace, England. He came from a well-known family. His father, Lord Randolph Churchill, was a famous politician. His mother, Jenny Jerome, was an American socialite. Winston's family had high expectations. Although he had a privileged upbringing, his early life was not always easy. He faced many challenges that tested his spirit. From a young age, Winston struggled in school. He did not do well academically at first. He felt lonely and misunderstood. Winston had a strong desire to learn, but he often felt anxious because of his performance. He fought with feelings of self-doubt in his heart. However, he did not let these feelings defeat him. Slowly, with hard work, he started to improve. This early struggle taught him an important lesson. If he tried hard, he could overcome his problems. He learned about resilience and believing in himself. These lessons would help him later as a leader and decision-maker. Churchill lived during a time of change. The late 19th century was full of new ideas and challenges. The world was moving away from old ways of thinking. It was a time when young people dreamed of breaking boundaries, and Winston was no different. From a young age, he loved history and stories of great leaders. He would often read books and imagine himself becoming a great leader one day. His passion for reading helped him to understand people and emotions better. It was here that he began to develop his emotional intelligence. In his teenage years, he discovered a love for activities like painting and writing. These hobbies brought him joy and a way to express his feelings. They also helped him connect with others. He recognized that sharing stories and emotions could create bonds with people. Even when he faced difficulties, such as not fitting in with other boys, he found ways to connect through his interests. His resilience grew. He learned that sharing feelings could bring not just comfort but also friendship. As he finished school, Winston faced new challenges. His family lost money, and he had to find time to support them. Despite these hardships, Winston understood the value of hard work. He joined the military and later became a war correspondent. These experiences shaped him into a strong man. Here, he learned to manage stressful situations. He learned how to remain calm and collected, even when things seemed impossible. Through all these moments, Winston was building a strong character. He saw many difficulties, but he never let them take hold of his spirit. The struggles made him more aware of life, purpose, and the necessity of having control over his own emotions. With each challenge, he grew stronger and more determined to pave his own way. He built a vision of a future where he could shine brightly, not only for himself but for everyone around him. These formative years, filled with struggles and lessons, laid the foundation for the extraordinary leader he would become. They showed him that challenges could transform into strengths, leading to personal growth, self-awareness, and the desire to make a difference in the world. As Winston Churchill grew older, he experienced many crucial moments that shaped his emotional intelligence. One important turning point was in 1900 when he joined the army. This experience forced him to face fear and uncertainty. He was in situations where life and death were very real. During battles in South Africa, Winston learned how to manage his emotions. He had to stay calm when everything around him was chaotic. This was not easy. He often felt afraid, but he realized that he could choose how to react. Instead of giving in to fear, he focused on his duties and the people around him. This time in the army taught Winston the power of self-awareness. He began to understand his emotions better. He learned that feelings could help him or hold him back. When he saw his fellow soldiers calm under pressure, he tried to do the same. He listened to others and noticed how they reacted to challenges. This understanding was very important to him. It showed him that managing his feelings also meant helping others deal with theirs. Winston started to see emotional growth as a journey. However, his journey was not without difficulties. After leaving the army, Churchill faced setbacks in his career. He had dreams of being a great leader, but reaching those dreams was hard. He tried to become a member of parliament, but he met with failure. He lost elections, and that hurt his confidence. It was a painful time for him. Instead of giving up, he decided to learn from these experiences. He faced criticism from those around him, but he did not let it pull him down. Winston learned that criticism could help him improve. Instead of feeling angry, he took it as a chance to grow. He began to respond to challenges with strength and determination. He learned to use emotional intelligence to understand how others felt. When criticism came, he listened before reacting. Winston wanted to learn, not just defend himself. This approach opened doors to new opportunities. People began to see him as resilient and wise. In the public eye, expectations were high. Many people viewed Churchill as a leader before he even achieved his dreams. This pressure was not easy to handle. He felt weight on his shoulders, and sometimes he doubted himself. In these moments of doubt, he rested before moving forward. He would think about what he wanted to achieve. By sitting with his emotions, Winston found clarity. He discovered that self-reflection was key. Through practicing reflection, he developed patience and kindness toward himself. Winston understood that everyone has moments of fear and doubt. Facing those emotions helped him connect with others. It gave him a motivating force to rise again. With each struggle, he grew stronger. These tests did not define him. They showed him the way forward. Churchill's journey was a powerful one, full of lessons about resilience, understanding, and emotional strength. He developed emotional intelligence through each experience. He learned to face challenges with confidence. No matter what happened, Winston stood firm on his path, always moving toward the leader he wanted to be. Winston Churchill continued on his path of growth with determination. His journey was not easy, but he was not afraid of hard work. He knew that developing his emotional intelligence, EQ, was crucial for his success. He looked for ways to improve himself every day. One key area he wanted to master was self-regulation. This meant controlling his feelings and reactions. He began to practice mindfulness, a technique that helped him focus on the present. By taking time to breathe deeply and reflect, he learned to calm his mind, especially during stressful moments. This ability to pause and think before reacting made Winston stronger. When faced with tough decisions, he took a moment to consider his emotions. Instead of letting anger or fear guide him, he learned to think clearly. Through mindfulness, he could separate his feelings from his actions. This self-regulation became a powerful tool. It allowed him to stay focused on his goals, no matter how difficult the situation became. Winston also realized that empathy was important. Understanding others' feelings helped him build better relationships. As he interacted with different people, he tried to listen more than speak. He paid attention to their words as well as their emotions. This practice of empathy opened his eyes to the struggles of others. By connecting with their experiences, he found common ground. He felt their joys and sadness, which made him a better leader in the long run. As he started to connect with people, his social skills improved. Winston understood the importance of teamwork and collaboration. He spent time building strong bonds with his colleagues. When disagreements arose, instead of arguing, he listened and sought common solutions. This approach led to better communication. Others admired him for being fair. They respected his ability to manage group dynamics and bring people together. As part of his growth, he also faced challenges from within himself. Old doubts sometimes crept back into his mind. There were days when he worried about failure. However, Winston used these moments as fuel for motivation. He reminded himself of past successes. Each time he overcame a challenge, he grew stronger and more confident. Winston understood that failures were not the end. They were steps on his journey. During this time, he also wrote about his thoughts and feelings. Keeping a journal allowed him to process emotions more deeply. Sometimes, writing helped him clear his head. It provided a place for him to express his fears and dreams. With each entry, he reflected on his experiences, learning and transforming in the process. This writing practice was another piece of his emotional toolkit. With his dedication to bettering himself, Winston became an inspiration. People forged stronger bonds with him. Many admired his ability to grow through difficulties. By showing his own vulnerabilities, he uplifted others. He encouraged them to confront their own obstacles. He learned that sharing his journey could empower others. The more he acknowledged his experiences, the more those around him felt inspired. Through his commitment to developing emotional intelligence, Winston began to build trust and respect in his community. His dedication was evident in all he did, from his quiet moments of reflection to his outreach with others, fostering an environment of openness and connection. In this way, he was not just transforming his own mindset, he was also helping to create a ripple effect of positivity. Every step he took brought him closer to becoming a true leader, embodying the very best of emotional intelligence. In the spring of 1940, Winston Churchill faced one of the most intense challenges of his life. He had just stepped into the role of Prime Minister during a difficult time for Britain. World War II was raging on, and the situation in Europe was dire. The threat from Nazi Germany loomed large. Many in his country were afraid. They worried that defeat was near. Churchill understood the weight of his new position, and the expectations were heavy. The pressure was not just from the public, but also from within himself. As Prime Minister, he had to make critical decisions that could alter the fate of a nation. One day, he stood before his cabinet, and the mood was grim. Having spent hours in discussion about military strategies, they faced a major crisis. The British Expeditionary Force was trapped in Dunkirk, surrounded by enemy troops. There were fears that thousands would be lost if they could not be saved. As he listened to the voices of his advisors debating the next steps, Churchill felt the tension inside him grow. At that moment, Churchill's emotional intelligence was put to the test. He knew he had to act, but his mind was filled with doubt. What if the plans failed? What if he sent men into danger with no chance of success? His empathy for soldiers weighed heavily on him. They were men with families, dreams, and lives to live. He wanted to ensure their safety, and he needed to find a way to help them. Instead of letting fear swallow him, Churchill took a deep breath and began to gather his thoughts. He remembered his lessons in mindfulness. He had learned to step back and focus on what truly mattered. So he paused and thought about the bigger picture. The strength of a united front was essential. Churchill decided that sending help was the only choice. It was time to inspire hope in the face of despair. In that moment of clarity, he made a pivotal decision. He called for an urgent speech to the nation. He wanted to rally people, to give them courage when much fear surrounded them. Churchill stood before the microphone and spoke from his heart. He shared the story of brave soldiers on the front lines. He told of their struggle and resilience, his voice filled with passion, as he spoke of fighting against the tides of defeat. He wanted the people to see that hope was still alive. With every word, he tapped into the collective spirit of Britain. He reminded them that they were stronger together. He painted a picture of a possible victory, even amidst darkness. Churchill used his powerful words to instill a sense of determination. Instead of just focusing on the failures, he shifted the narrative to strength and action. As his speech concluded, he felt a wave of calm wash over him. He had expressed the power of resilience and hope. This moment became a turning point not just for Churchill, but for the whole country. More than courage, he had ignited a burning desire to resist. He had transformed fear into motivation. The nation began to prepare for action, and instead of surrendering to doubt, they joined hands in solidarity. Churchill's ability to face this crisis head-on allowed him to elevate his own mindset and the mindset of a nation. He used his emotional intelligence to turn despair into hope. His fierce determination now burned bright within him, and he realized that he had the power to inspire change in both himself and others when they needed it the most. As Winston Churchill observed the growing determination among the people of Britain, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. His speech had succeeded in stirring courage within hearts. Yet, he knew that words alone were not enough. He had to lead his nation through action. The world was not waiting, and time was short. The situation in Dunkirk remained critical, and soldiers needed help quickly. This moment became an important challenge, one that put all his emotional intelligence to the test. In the days following his speech, Churchill demonstrated remarkable resilience. He understood people's fears, but chose to focus on their strengths. He spent countless hours meeting military leaders and strategizing in their tense meetings. Many in his cabinet were still worried about the risks involved. They questioned whether the fleet of small boats could truly rescue thousands of troops. But instead of backing down, Churchill listened to their concerns with empathy. He acknowledged their worries, showing that he valued their opinions. This understanding helped him gain their trust and support. Churchill's confidence grew as he mobilized the plan to send boats to rescue the troops. He rallied boat owners and sailors to join the mission. He believed in the power of community and teamwork. With each new volunteer, he saw hope blossoming. Families and friends of soldiers began to come together, motivated by a common goal. His empathy toward their struggles helped them channel their energy into action. Every day, Winston addressed the nation, sharing updates and offering encouragement. He reached out to everyone by speaking not just as a leader, but as a fellow human being. He showed vulnerability by sharing his own feelings of fear and uncertainty. This honesty won the hearts of many. They saw him not only as their prime minister, but as a person who understood their plight. His ability to connect deeply with others inspired hope. As the rescue mission approached, the pressure mounted. Churchill felt the weight of every decision. Yet, he kept his self-control in check. Whenever anxiety threatened to overwhelm him, he returned to his practice of reflection and mindfulness. This calm approach helped him regain focus, and his attitude set an example for everyone around him. They looked to him in moments of doubt. Instead of showing panic, he portrayed confidence and resolve. Finally, the day of the rescue arrived. The beaches of Dunkirk were filled with chaos, but there was also action. Soldiers, filled with both fear and hope, flooded the shores. Churchill knew this was a pivotal moment for his country and for him as a leader. As he watched boats set sail, he felt an immense wave of pride. The operation, known as Operation Dynamo, became a testament to the power of cooperation and leadership. Through empathy and resilience, Churchill turned fear into strength. His leadership inspired a nation to unite in the face of danger. That spirit transformed not only the outcome of the battle, but also the faith people had in him. This moment marked a shift in history, one where courage prevailed, and where Churchill learned how deeply emotional intelligence could change the fate of many. As Churchill chose to embrace his emotional strength, he demonstrated to the world that leadership is not solely about power. It's about lifting others. He forged ahead, knowing he could motivate those around him. His emotional intelligence would light the path for those dark days of war and carry them into a future fueled by hope. Each challenge they faced became stepping stones to victory, and every individual who joined them felt part of something bigger. Winston Churchill always dreamed of making a significant impact on the world. He wanted to lead and inspire his country during tough times. But this dream came with many limits and challenges. Even after he became Prime Minister, he faced immense pressure and skepticism from many people around him. Some did not believe in his ability to lead Britain through the dark days of World War II. There were moments when the clouds of despair loomed high, and doubt tried to take hold of him. As battles raged on, and the threat of defeat grew, Churchill felt weighed down by the hardships. His voice stood against the tide of fear, but there were days when he struggled to find strength within himself. He faced criticism from both allies and opponents. Some doubted his ideas for the war, while others worried he was too bold. This was a painful part of his journey. Each setback shook his confidence at times, and the burden felt heavy. But Winston had something important inside him: determination. When the challenges seemed too great, he turned inward. He learned to treat every setback not as a brick wall, but as a stepping stone to his goals. His yearning to make a difference lit a fire in him. Each time he faced a hurdle, he took a moment to regroup and focus on what truly mattered, his vision for the future. Churchill remembered the sacrifices of others. Every soldier's bravery reminded him of the cause they were fighting for. Their hopes were tied to his leadership, so he knew he could not let them down. Instead of wallowing in darkness, he turned his emotions into fuel for determination. He pictured a brighter future for his country and focused on the good that would come from standing strong. With each challenge, he found a way to rise. He began to embrace his failures as essential lessons on the road toward his goal. As he navigated through uncertainties, he drew inspiration from everyone around him. He reminded himself of the importance of resilience. With unwavering spirit, he reached out to those who believed in him and sought their support. This journey became not just about his personal ambitions, but about uniting a nation. The call of the moment made him more determined than ever. He understood that greatness does not only happen on easy days. It is sculpted through struggles and shaped with courage. As he faced down his fears, Winston transformed doubt into positive action. He decided to embrace his leadership role fully and guide others through the turmoil. When the operation at Dunkirk started, his resolve solidified. He called upon the British people to show they could rise above despair. His vision became clearer. This was not just a war. It was a chance to unite for a common purpose. The people rallied around him, ready to take action, and slowly, hope began to replace fear. In this moment of clarity, the despair transformed into determination. Churchill's heart beat with the rhythm of confidence, and he stood tall, ready to face whatever came next. He embraced the challenges and proved that even when faced with setbacks, dreams could still become a reality. As individuals came together, they were reminded that strength comes from unity. Churchill was not just a leader. He was a beacon of hope, illuminating the path toward a better future. After the successful evacuation of Dunkirk, Winston Churchill took some time to reflect on what had happened. The events of those days were powerful. He had faced fear and uncertainty, but he had also witnessed great courage and strength. The rescue mission became a turning point not just for him, but for the whole nation. As he sat in his office, he thought about what he had learned during this journey. Winston felt grateful for the support he received from so many people. Their bravery inspired him to be a better leader. He realized that people were full of potential, waiting to be called upon in times of need. This understanding deepened his empathy for others, and he wanted to honor their sacrifices. As he stared out of the window, he made a decision. He would focus on the emotional growth that he had experienced and use it to help others. In the following weeks, Churchill started to share his story with those around him. He understood that reflecting on experiences was essential for growth. Winston gathered his team and talked about the importance of staying positive in difficult times. He shared stories of struggles, failures, and triumphs. This helped create an emotional bond among them. The atmosphere shifted to one of hope and teamwork. They became a family, supporting each other through thick and thin. Churchill also took steps to improve his own well-being. He knew that leading a nation had its demands. To cope, he began to practice mindfulness more regularly. This practice helped him manage stress better. He spent moments in silence, focusing on his breathing. It allowed him to clear his mind and reconnect with his purpose. During difficult days, this simple yet effective technique became a refuge for him. Furthermore, Churchill started encouraging his colleagues to reflect on their emotions. He believed that leaders needed to show vulnerability too. He wanted them to feel safe expressing their feelings. Churchill introduced regular discussions about challenges and successes. He wanted everyone to understand that sharing emotions created stronger teams. This new focus on emotional intelligence began to transform the culture within his circle. As Winston led by example, he noticed that those around him became more open and honest. they found joy in supporting one another. He inspired them to see struggles as opportunities for growth. Each team member began sharing not just victories, but also worries and fears. This built deeper connections and understood the importance of working together. The impact of these changes was profound. Not only did his team become closer, but their ability to face challenges improved greatly. They faced each obstacle as a united front rather than individuals. Churchill took pride in knowing that through his reflections, he had influenced the emotional growth of others. His leadership had become rooted in compassion and understanding. Reflecting on his journey, Winston understood that overcoming challenges was not just about personal strength. It was about lifting others as well. He saw how empowering those around him produced a ripple effect of positivity. Together, they were transforming the spirit of their nation. As they faced uncertain times ahead, he felt a renewed sense of hope. He had learned that true leadership meant nurturing the emotional well-being of not just oneself, but of the whole team. In doing so, he shaped not only his destiny, but the future of Britain. As Winston Churchill continued to reflect on his journey, he felt empowered in ways he had never imagined. Having faced significant challenges, he emerged with a renewed sense of purpose. This transformation allowed him to embrace emotional intelligence not just for himself, but as a means to empower others. He realized that the techniques he had developed were not merely helpful for individual challenges, but could inspire a whole nation to rise above fear and uncertainty. Now, Winston actively used his emotional understanding to motivate those around him. He regularly engaged with his team and encouraged them to look beyond immediate problems. Churchill encouraged a growth-oriented mindset, reminding them that failure was a stepping stone to success. His words instilled hope and courage. He wanted his team to believe in their potential and to see challenges as opportunities for improvement. By creating a positive environment, he led his team to embrace their roles more effectively. Leadership meetings transformed from dull discussions into moments of empowerment. Churchill invited his colleagues to share their insights and feelings. He actively listened and provided feedback rooted in understanding. This approach allowed everyone to express themselves without fear, yet, with each challenge, he had developed resilience. This understanding inspired him to take immediate action for a brighter future. To reinforce his leadership, Winston established clear goals and plans for his country. He reached out to military leaders and began to communicate a renewed vision. He said that working as a team was essential for success. Together, they would strategize how to enhance their defenses and reclaim lost ground. He emphasized that every person had a vital role to play, even everyday citizens. Everyone needed to believe in the common goal, creating a sense of urgency and determination. He set an example by being active in his approach. Prioritizing communication was key. Besides meetings with military officials, Churchill held press conferences to connect with the public. He wanted every man and woman in Britain to understand their mission. He reminded them about the strength they possessed to overcome the odds. When people feel connected to a common purpose, motivation can become a powerful engine for action. Churchill also took stock of available resources and talents within the country. He worked to organize volunteer efforts. Citizens began to work in factories to produce weapons and supplies for the war. Their contributions became large-scale movements adjusted to reality. He made sure to recognize people's efforts publicly. Sharing these successes helped reinforce the importance of each individual's contribution. The combined energies of the people created a wave of hope. Together, they fostered a strong spirit that resonated throughout communities. Through shared stories of determination, people built bonds with one another. They supported one another emotionally and physically in creating a safer and more resilient Britain. As events unfolded, Winston focused on his own self-care, ensuring he remained strong for the challenges ahead. He practiced balance and kept to a daily routine that nurtured both his mind and body. He did not shy away from seeking solace in moments of quiet reflection. This practice was essential for keeping positive energy flowing. Each day held new meaning and purpose. As Churchill took these steps and spearheaded change, he felt his determination grow. He saw firsthand the power of unity, and how everyone could contribute to achieving greatness. As people gathered in communities to lend a hand, they fostered not just a war effort, but a shared commitment to resilience that would carry them through tough times. This period marked a transformation, moving from uncertainty to action, and solidifying the growth they all had experienced. Winston could now see the clear path ahead. By leveraging emotional intelligence and collective power, the first steps toward resolving the greater conflict were firmly established. He felt more connected than ever, knowing the strength lay in the hearts of the people ready to face any obstacle together. Hope shone brightly as they moved toward their ultimate goal, a vision of a proud and enduring nation. As Winston Churchill reflects on his incredible journey, he stands proud of what he has accomplished. The trials he faced during World War II not only shaped his life, but also changed the fate of a nation. Today, he holds a significant place in history as a leader who inspired resilience and hope within Britain. Winston knows that his path was filled with challenges, yet each obstacle helped forge the character he became. Now, Churchill is focused on the future, not only for himself but for the entire country. He continues to serve as Prime Minister, steering Britain through rebuilding efforts after the war. With each passing day, his commitment grows stronger. He is actively engaged in discussions about peace and collaboration with other nations. His recent experiences have taught him that unity is vital. Together, nations can prevent future conflicts. Winston knows that moving forward requires more than just fighting. It requires understanding and compassion. Emboldened by his past, Churchill emphasizes communication with the people. He continues to inspire hope among citizens by sharing stories of bravery. He believes stories bind people together. They remind everyone of their shared struggles and victories, giving them strength for future challenges. Winston holds town hall meetings where people can voice their concerns and dreams. This openness has created a spirit of trust between him and the nation. His calm presence instills confidence, reminding people that they are not alone in difficult times. As he works on international relations for a brighter future, Churchill is also dedicated to empowering young leaders. He sees their potential and understands that the future lies in their hands. Winston encourages education and personal development for the youth. He sets an example as he actively mentors individuals who want to make a difference in their communities. He wants them to understand that their choices matter, and they can all contribute to building a better world. Empowering others is one of the most fulfilling parts of his legacy. Looking back, Winston acknowledges obstacles when he began his journey. He faced doubt and criticism, but he knew that true leadership is about resilience. By fighting against despair, he inspired others to cultivate strength within themselves. The emotional intelligence he developed has remained a guide throughout his life. He understands emotions can fuel or hinder progress, and he uses this knowledge to shape his leadership style profoundly. Today, Churchill is not only a leader, but also a symbol of hope. His experiences have enlightened him on the power of unity, compassion, and perseverance. This knowledge fuels his determination every day, driving him to work tirelessly for the benefit of all. He recognizes that the world is still going through challenges, but talks about hope unite the people stronger than the barriers around them. In wrapping up his remarkable story, Winston leads with a steady heart and an open mind, as he believes everyone can learn and grow through experiences. His journey continues, filled with purpose and passion. He inspires those around him to embrace their potential to create change, reminding everyone that the future is bright when forged together. Today's work shapes tomorrow's promise, and Churchill embodies that spirit entirely, ensuring that his legacy as a leader driven by hope and emotional strength marches on. As Churchill reflects on his remarkable journey, he recognizes the profound impact it has had on his life and the lives of others. His time as a leader during a tumultuous period taught him valuable lessons about strength, resilience, and the power of unity. He understands that his story is not just about victories in war or politics. It is also about the human spirit and its ability to rise above adversity. One core lesson from his journey is the importance of never giving up. Winston faced many setbacks, but he learned to transform challenges into opportunities. He encourages everyone to embrace their struggles, as they can lead to personal growth. When readers face their own challenges, Churchill's story teaches them to stand firm, maintain hope, and keep moving forward. It reminds them that failure is not the end, but a step toward success. Each setback can cultivate new strengths, revealing a deeper path to achieving one's dreams. Another vital lesson lies in the power of emotional intelligence. Winston learned to listen to others and understand their feelings. He discovered that compassionate leadership brings people together. By showing empathy, he built trust among his team and the public. This understanding helped him navigate difficult conversations and decisions. Readers can take this lesson to heart by nurturing their own emotional awareness. Connecting deeply with others creates stronger relationships and communities. Empathy can spark support and collaboration, leading to great impact in individual lives and society as a whole. Winston's story also highlights the significance of communication. Through open dialogue and sharing, he managed to unite the people during dark times. His ability to inspire hope through words changed the course of the nation's spirit. This teaches readers that sharing their stories and ideas can motivate others. Everyone has a voice and a message worth sharing, even in the face of uncertainty. Being honest about emotions creates a space for connection and healing. The legacy Winston Churchill leaves behind is not only of a leader in times of war, but also of a figure who understood the human experience. He inspired resilience and encouraged collaboration among people from different backgrounds. His impact continues to resonate, reminding society that everyone has the potential to be a leader in their own right. Whether it is in communities, workplaces, or family life, the values of determination and empathy are timeless. As the world faces new challenges, Churchill's lessons serve as beacons of hope. They call upon all individuals to realize their power to create change, even in small ways. By embracing strength, understanding emotions, and fostering communication, readers can make a difference. Each person carries the potential to inspire others, just as he did. Winston's journey shows that legacy is created not just through accomplishments, but through the hearts he has touched. The principles of resilience, emotional intelligence, and compassionate communication mark the foundation of his impact on the world. As this inspiring story concludes, it reminds everyone that despite obstacles, the human spirit can achieve great things when united, motivated, and caring. Everyone has the chance to leave their mark on the world, just as Churchill did, and build a better future for generations to come.